Toad Kingdom, Last Stand Episode 2. Luigi and Toadette trudged through the ruins of what was once a vibrant mushroom kingdom. The air was thick with the stench of decay, and every shadow seemed to hide potential danger. As they rounded a corner, a faint whimper caught their attention. Their eyes widened as they spotted a small green creature huddled beneath a pile of debris. It was a baby Yoshi, its usually bright scales now dulled with dirt and what looked like dried blood. The little dinosaur's eyes were full of fear and pain. Toadette approached the baby Yoshi slowly, her hands outstretched in a gesture of peace. The creature flinched at first, but then allowed her to gently scoop it up. Luigi watched, his heart heavy with the weight of all they had lost, and all they still stood to lose. "We can't leave it here," Toadette said, cradling the baby Yoshi. Luigi nodded, knowing they couldn't abandon a helpless creature to this cruel new world. "We need to find help," he replied, his mind racing through their limited options. Suddenly, Luigi's face lit up with an idea. "Waluigi and Warrior," he said, hope creeping into his voice, "they might have supplies, maybe even medicine." Toadette nodded eagerly, and they set off with renewed purpose. As they made their way through the twisted remains of the kingdom, Luigi couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Every shadow seemed to move, every sound a potential threat. The baby Yoshi whimpered softly in Toadette's arms, sensing the tension. After what felt like hours, they finally reached Waluigi's house. But their relief quickly turned to horror. The building was surrounded by a horde of zombies, their grotesque forms shuffling aimlessly in the yard. Luigi's heart sank. How could they possibly get past this nightmare? As if in answer to his unspoken question, a window on the second floor opened and a familiar, lanky figure poked his head out. Waluigi had spotted them. Waluigi gesticulated wildly, pointing to the back of the house. Luigi understood immediately. There must be another way in. He nudged Toadette, and they began to edge their way around the zombie-infested yard, their hearts pounding with every step. As they reached the back of the house, they saw a rope dangling from an open window. Waluigi's face appeared again, urgently motioning for them to climb up. Luigi helped Toadette secure the baby Yoshi before she started to ascend. Just as Toadette reached the window, a zombie stumbled around the corner of the house. Luigi froze, his heart in his throat. The creature's milky eyes fixed on him, and it let out a bone-chilling moan that alerted the entire horde. Luigi scrambled up the rope as the zombies converged on him. Waluigi and Toadette reached down, grabbing his arms and hauling him inside just as the first rotting hands grasped at his feet. They slammed the window shut, the sound of scraping and moaning filling the air outside. Panting heavily, Luigi looked around the room. It was a makeshift infirmary, with supplies strewn about and a figure lying on a bed in the corner. As his eyes adjusted to the dim light, he realized it was Warrior, and he didn't look good. Waluigi explained in hushed tones that Warrior had been bitten during a supply run. They'd been trying to treat him, but nothing seemed to work. The strong fighter was growing weaker by the hour, his skin taking on a sickly pallor. As they discussed their options, the baby Yoshi chirped weakly in Toadette's arms. Waluigi's eyes widened as he noticed the creature for the first time. "Another mouth to feed," he muttered, but there was no real anger in his voice, only resignation. Suddenly, Warrior let out a pained groan. They rushed to his side, watching in horror as his body began to convulse. His eyes flew open, but they were no longer the eyes of their friend. They were clouded over, unseeing and yet filled with a terrible hunger. "He's turning!" Toadette cried out, clutching the baby Yoshi tighter. Waluigi grabbed a nearby chair, ready to defend them. Luigi stood frozen, torn between the need to survive and the desire to help his friend. The room was filled with tension, the only sound Warrior's inhuman growls. Warrior, or what used to be Warrior, lunged from the bed with surprising speed. Waluigi swung the chair, connecting with a sickening thud. But the blow only seemed to enrage the creature further. It turned its attention to Luigi, who was closest to the door. "Luigi, run!" Waluigi shouted, trying to draw the creature's attention. But Luigi couldn't move, his feet seemingly rooted to the floor. The thing that was once their friend advanced, its hands outstretched and teeth bared. Time seemed to slow down as Luigi faced the terrifying reality of their new world. In a burst of desperate energy, Waluigi tackled the creature, sending them both crashing into a table of supplies. "Get out of here," he yelled to Luigi and Toadette. "I'll hold him off." Luigi hesitated, unwilling to leave Waluigi behind. Toadette grabbed Luigi's hand, pulling him towards the door. "We have to go," she insisted, her voice cracking with fear. Luigi looked back one last time, seeing Waluigi struggling with the creature that was once their friend. With a heavy heart, he turned and ran. They burst out of the house, the sounds of the struggle fading behind them. The zombies in the yard turned at their sudden appearance, their grotesque faces twisting with hunger. Luigi and Toadette ran, dodging grasping hands and snapping teeth. As they reached the edge of the property, a familiar figure emerged from the house. It was Waluigi, his clothes torn and bloody, but very much alive. He sprinted towards them, a look of sheer terror on his face. Behind him, the zombie that was once Warrior appeared in the doorway.